Dr. Robotnik's Ring Racers is actually SRB2 Kart version 2, and a lot of tracks from SRB2 Kart version 1 actually returned in Dr. Robotnik's Ring Racers, either looking very similar or extremely different, to the point where some of them even have different names and different layouts, but are still basically the same track. In this video, I will be comparing every single track side by side like this, and, discussing exactly what changes have been made, anything I've noticed and stuff. I will also be including modded tracks in this video, such as, a lot of these ones that were only in servers that were, not vanilla, like Sunflower's Garden, etc. And I will also include some of the battle tracks that were included here. If you enjoy this video at any point, drop a sub on the channel because we're basically at 1,000 subscribers. Northern District Zone. What a classic. Basically, this one has had a very big visual makeover. Look at this, just the textures on the ground there. The rain is a lot better, but the layout is actually pretty much identical. The only change really is just the fact that a lot of these Ring Racer levels have actually been scaled up quite a bit. It's actually crazy how much bigger a lot of these are. This isn't the perfect example of this. It actually isn't that much bigger, but obviously the main thing you'll notice is just rings on the track. This bridge section is kind of the same but slightly different, but this building section at the end is actually a lot different than before. Same layout, but you go up a lot and there's just a lot more open and I feel like I'm not cramped in. But anyway, that was Northern District Zone. Next is Panic City Zone, and as you've noticed, we're going in the order of the Ring Racer Cups, but this one's visually different as well. A lot of rings, the iron boxes are different. This section here has the, what's it called? I can't remember what its name is, but that thing that you can only go through the boost on the right. And yeah, basically, this one's layout is pretty much identical to the original as well. You can see the mini-maps that are on the screen as well, which helps you show that the layouts are either different or identical. But yeah, this one's pretty much the same boost pad placement, but the item boxes and stuff have mainly been shuffled around. That is a common theme of Ring Racer tracks. But yeah, as you can see, it's pretty much the same getting launched there, same turns, around the same amount of time to complete them. Next is Sonic Speedway Zone, and this one's layout is identical as well. A lot of these early ones are identical, but some of the later ones are completely different, so stay tuned for that, or skip ahead with the chapters that are on this video. But yeah, this one, one thing you'll notice actually as well with Ring Racers is that you go a lot faster. Even though the levels are scalably bigger in Ring Racers, you generally go a lot faster because the ring mechanic actually makes it so that you drive genuinely faster in real time. So it actually makes you go ahead of SRB2 Kart. The only reason why Kart is ahead right now is because I took a shortcut that I didn't on Ring Racers. Not much to say about this one, to be honest, besides from the visuals again, but there is a shortcut that you could take as well. Now, Green Hills Zone is actually hugely different. The layout is absolutely new. Nothing like the original. The soundtrack music, actually, I've not mentioned so far, but it's been the same so far, except this one is a little bit of a different remix. And yeah, it's not much else to say other than that it's a hugely different track. Same theme, textures are a lot better, I would say, but it's just a completely different track, but with the same name. It's obviously based on the original, but it's also just based on Green Hills Zone from the Master System Sonic games. So, as you can see, we paused the SRB2 Kart version because it's actually a lot longer on the Ring Racers version, with multiple sections like these spring sections. And the tunnel sections, which actually are reminiscent of Green Hills Zone, like the cave section that are in the Master System Green Hills Zones, so that's pretty cool. But then after this, we move on to Autumn Ring Zone. A lot of these ones start differently because, you're supposed to have the gathering and then try and fight for getting the start line first instead of just 3, 2, 1, go. This one's layout is pretty much the same, except that corner in the top right is a lot different in Ring Racers compared to SRB2 Kart. The visuals also look a lot different as well, still the autumn feel with the red leaves and stuff, but A lot of the floor looks different. For example, this bit of ramp here is small on SRB2 Kart, while it's huge in Ring Racers. And in SRB2 Kart, you actually drive on the leaves a lot, but here it's just normal road in Ring Racers. There's just a lot different turns here. As you can see, this is more straight with a right angle compared to a turn. And then this bridge section actually has a jump in Ring Racers, but in SRB2 Kart, it's just a normal turn. And this last corner actually has a bit more to it in Ring Racers, going up a huge hill with boosts. And then you just turn around the corner and oh, we're at the end. I like this one better in Ring Racers. Anyway, Sundae Drive Zone is identical to SRB2 Kart. Same music, same everything. I will mention when the music is different if I actually remember to, but you can see on screen when it says the name of it anyway, so... Yeah, this one's pretty much the same as well, except SRB2 Kart doesn't allow you to drive out of bounds as much. As you can see, it died there, while Ring Racers lets you go anywhere out of bounds on the off-road. It's not really out of bounds, it's just off-road. But yeah, SRB2 Kart is more limiting with that. But as you can see, the layout and visuals are pretty much the same, no difference here. Opulence Zone, one of my favourite zones in all of karts. I love this one. The music is so different and it matches it more than the 1.4 version of SRB2 Kart music, thanks. But anyway, the theming is obviously exactly the same, but the layout is completely different. It's pretty much reminiscent of the original, like for example the two splitting paths here that lead into this section here. Going around the corner, you can see there's the ribbon road kind of thing flapping. In both versions it's still the same. Ring Racers is more vertical though. And then the outside section, well, as you can see, it's taking place at night time on Ring Racers, while daytime in SRB2 Kart. And the water section here, you actually drive across the water going fast like this instead of just bouncing on it like in SRB2 Kart. And then the coin section here is, yeah, same concept but different layout. A lot more verticality in Ring Racers. And yeah, that is what you would call an absolutely banger track. Roasted Ruins Zone is very visually different, using different music as well. This one's theming is actually pretty unique compared to what we saw in SRB2 Kart. SRB2 Kart's version was basically just Opulence Zone, but as a track. Ring Racers is actually a unique desert track with this pink kind of hue on the walls. Obviously the layout here is identical in both versions. There are a couple extra shortcuts in the Ring Racer version, but they're both pretty much identical when it comes to the layout. Item box placement is obviously different, like in every single track on this list, but yeah, layout wise it's the same. I do like the extra cacti that are placed here, but besides from that, yeah, there's just not too many additions, just the visuals basically. And then we go to Obsidian Oasis Zone. This one had a music changeover as well, and layout change, slightly. It's still pretty much the same, but there's an extra turn that's been removed in the Ring Racers version. The music here is a lot different to the version in SRB2 Kart. The SRB2 Kart version was basically a really calm kind of theme. This one's like upbeat, going really fast kind of thing. And obviously it takes a lot longer for the Ring Racers one to come because of the layout being different and more straightforward. As you can see, we're having to pause the SRB2 Kart version quite a bit to get up to the same speed. As you can see in SRB2 Kart, there's a jump here which is just completely removed in the Ring Racers version. The Ring Racers version also has water here, which the SRB2 Kart one doesn't. And also, there's springs at the end on the kart version that launch you into the finish line, while there isn't in the Ring Racers version. Now, Gigapolis Zone is completely new in terms of layout, but the theming is pretty much the same as the kart version. This is a modded track as well, so you may have not played this. But yeah, the layout is completely different. This is just a new track with the same name, basically. But obviously it was inspired from it, so I'm going to put it on the list. This one has a really cool theme, but an annoying level design thing. As you can see, this turn here in Ring Racers, you have to like stop and go on the springs. And this bit here is pretty cool, using balancing skills to try and not fall. And yeah, this one's layout actually teaches you about the new mechanic in Ring Racers, the ring mechanic that actually lets you drive up the walls by using wings? God, I can't speak today. The rings. But yeah, that is a completely different track, new music, new everything, just completely different. Now, Darkvile Castle Zone was Darkvile Garden Zone in SRB2 Kart. The layout is identical in this version compared to the SRB2 Kart 1. The theming is just completely on top of its head, completely different. This one has a lot more like hilliness to it, like as you can see here it's flat in SRB2 Kart while this is kind of curved. Obviously the theming is different, it's a bit darker, the roads just look completely different, new music and everything. It's basically a new track with the same layout. Obviously not a new track, it's still an SRB2 Kart track. And it takes a lot longer for the Ring Racers version to go around as well. As you can see, we had to pause SRB2 Kart quite a bit. But yeah, this version is honestly quite cool, but I do think I prefer the original. Now, Hilltop Zone. This isn't the Hilltop that was in vanilla SRB2 Kart. This is actually... oh, fuck, I can't remember the name. You can see it on screen. I completely forgot his name. But yeah, this is basically that one, but it's renamed to Hilltop Zone. And I actually prefer this over the Hilltop that was in vanilla SRB2 Kart, just because it's a bit longer and the music is more like Hilltop, even though the original was actually, you know, the Sonic the Fighters music. But anyway, there's been a few changes on this one, like they added enemies, added boost panels, and obviously the thing here that you can only boost through is there, which gives you pogo springs in the actual race and not in time trial though. But yeah, the layout of this one is actually identical to the kart version. It just looks a bit... it actually doesn't... it looks exactly the same. Yeah. This one basically plays the same. It does... a lot of these musics actually do have alternate versions in Ring Racers, but most of them actually do have the same music. But also a lot of them have unique music and don't contain the original. But Silvercloud Island Zone actually is so different. It's visually really different. The layout is slightly different, but it is actually pretty much the same. But the track like curves and like slopes, I guess, completely different in this version. SRB2 Karts is kind of flat, while Ring Racers has a lot of slopes, which actually makes it more interesting. I think I still prefer the visualness of SRB2 Kart's version, because it's more like of being in the sky compared to this one just feeling like I'm in just another dimension. But yeah, pretty much the same layout, slightly different. But up next is Sub-Zero Peak, which has also the same layout. Not much changed here, just visuals and music really. There is an extra elevated bit here, but not much to say. There is pretty much the same shortcuts in this version as well. As you can see, the bridge is the same here with the ice, and the shortcut on the left is the same, except obviously now you have to go through that barrier thing, can't remember its name. The boost panels are here and new, and there's a spring here that can bamboozle you. But yeah, the rest of it is pretty much the same. There is an added bridge here, which wasn't there in the SRB2 Kart version, and this bit is outdoors now, which it wasn't in the SRB2 Kart version. Ring Racers also feels a little quicker to play, but that's probably just because Ring Racers is a lot more of a fast-paced game than Kart is. You can't do the shortcut on that turn behind us anymore. Unfortunate, but oh well. But yeah, that's it. Pretty much the same. Desert Palace Zone. This one is identical to the Kart version. Just the visuals look a bit nicer. A lot of the Ring Racers ones, even though it has the same level of graphics, the way that they did the things with the like pixel density, I guess, is a lot nicer in Ring Racers compared to Kart. Kart looks a lot more dull than the Ring Racer versions of it. Looking side by side, yikes. Layout of this was identical, music is the same, visuals basically the same, just nicer looking. Scarlet Garden Zone. This one is also exactly the same with the layout, but the visuals, oh my god, the visuals, they look so nice. Music is also the same, but the water, jeez, they really got good with the water in this game. Like, holy crap, it looks so good. But yeah, layout identical, music identical. There's literally like no changes except for the visuals. But sometimes good tracks don't need changes. Speaking of, Motobug Motorway. This one's actually pretty different, but also same at the same time. So this one's set at night instead of day, has the same music, but item box and stuff placement is different. And then this section here is actually a cave, which isn't like that in the SRB2 Kart version. Also, what's different here is this little bit with the Motobugs before turning and going into another cave. This bit's pretty much the same, just got the Motobugs on the left and the right and the centre. And then obviously the bridge is the same here. And the ramp remains with the turns, but this is actually a lot of a steeper turn. And then obviously you can actually go over here, which you can't do in the SRB2 Kart version. This cave bit is slightly different. It's a bit more curvier and like tunnel-like on Ring Racers compared to SRB2 Kart. And it's just a lot darker in the cave in Ring Racers. They definitely nailed the lighting in this game compared to SRB2 Kart. But with that, we move on to Frozen Production Zone, which is the biggest glow up in a track in Ring Racers to date. This one looks nothing like the original. And also the layout of it is actually pretty different. As you can see on the minimap, there's a huge fat section in the bottom right here that's just completely absent from the SRB2 Kart version. The layouts are pretty much the same up to that point, with minor differences. And obviously the visuals are the biggest change here, as well as the music matching more. I love the music choice in this one. But yeah, as you can see, there's a lot of pausing in the SRB2 Kart version just because of how vastly different the layouts are and how behind the Ring Racer version is. This section is completely different. There was a shortcut added in Ring Racers, and now we go outside in Ring Racers while staying inside in the kart version with just completely different layout. Nothing alike in the Ring Racers version. This one actually takes a lot longer than in the SRB2 Kart version, because if you've noticed, this is only 2 laps long compared to being 3 laps in the kart version. This is paused for a long time, isn't it? Because, yeah, kart version is just so vastly different that it's just gonna have to wait until Ring Racers catches up. I do like this course a lot better in Ring Racers than in SRB2 Kart. It just feels so much nicer to be on. The music and atmosphere is absolutely incredible. The kart version just feels like an old, couldn't care less about factory. Now there is a jump at the end of both versions, but like the Ring Racers version obviously takes the cake in this. So much of an improvement. Best one so far. Now Aqueduct Crystal Zone is actually Misty Maze Zone from SRB2 Kart, and even though the name, theme, looks, music, and basically everything except for the layout is new, this is still Misty Maze at core. The layout is actually the same as Misty Maze, except the section where you are automatically pulled is different. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, as you can see, it's pretty much the same as Misty Maze Zone, just renamed, reskinned everything. I do like this version better than Misty Maze though. Again, the visuals and the music carry it a lot here. Oh yeah, in this section you aren't automatically carried anymore, you're just pushed really fast. But as you can see, same being thrown up here with the item boxes and the spikes swinging around, just gotta avoid them in the shallow water. But what also makes this one a lot different is that the water controls so much differently in Ring Racers compared to SRB2 Kart. Diamond Dust Zone is actually completely different. There are a lot of zones in SRB2 Kart that I didn't include in this comparison because they are just too generic and only use the Sonic 1, 2 or 3 theme instead of being unique. The reason why I included this one is actually because this was a very unique track and there wasn't actually any of the Diamond Dust levels in SRB2 Kart. But in Ring Racers there's actually a couple. We'll get to that in a second. This one is completely new, but it just uses the Diamond Dust theme. I still wanted to compare it though because it's basically just what I would think of when I would think of a Ring Racers and Diamond Dust comparison. But yeah, this is just completely a new track. Same music obviously, but just visually very different. The SRB2 Kart one is kind of like the Genesis version, while the Ring Racers one is kind of like the Saturn version of it. But here is Diamond Dust Classic, which is not actually what the kart version is, so why the hell is it called Classic? I don't know, but the layout is completely new as well, not being used in SRB2 Kart here. Unless there was some other Diamond Dust that I wasn't aware of for the last 4 years, then maybe it's that, but I've never seen this layout on Ring Racers before, so it's new to me. Maybe this was the original design. This one's visuals are exactly the same as the other Diamond Dust in Ring Racers. It's just a different layout with different music, but I think you can unlock both of them in both versions anyway. Yeah, don't really have much else to say about these. It's just Diamond Dust from Sonic 3D Blast. And it's just nothing like the kart version. Blue Mountain, oh my god, the music in this one is so much better. The layout of this one is actually identical. The visuals are a lot better, I would say. It looks like an actual cave. The lighting, again, looks so much better in Ring Racers compared to SRB2 Kart. I just can't believe how much better. And the snowfall looks better. Obviously, there's a lot more verticality with the slopes in the Ring Racers version. But yeah, the layout of this one is actually identical. I'm surprised they didn't do anything else with it. Obviously this bit is more like slopey because that's just how Ring Racers is. But the cave section here is actually slightly different, but because it's just a straightaway anyway, it's basically the same layout. It's just slightly different mechanics there and just little puzzle. But yeah, this last turn is different with the snow being on the inside, but that's just the track's aesthetic. Blue Mountain Act 2, I'm not going to show the whole of this, I'm just going to say that this version is obviously a sequel to Act 1, which is the SRB2 Kart version, so obviously it's not going to compare to the original, because it's a new track completely, it just uses the Blue Mountain theme, but Virtual Highway is pretty much the same track again, but with a different music and different theming of visuals. Obviously this shortcut on the right here is not used anymore, because you could go on it without a shoe in the Ring Race, in the SRB2 Kart version, but in Ring Racers you can't, you have to use a shoe. This section here is completely different because it was underwater in the kart version, while it's just some rings in the Ring Racer version. I guess that's fitting. But then here is where it kind of looks slightly different. You've got a big curve here, and then there's still this, you know, big triangle kind of turn. And then it's just the same, but it just feels so much more empty for some reason. I don't know why. This shortcut, obviously you need to go through that thing. Pretty similar layout, but also different at the same time. Hot Shelter was called Red Barrage Area in SRB2 Kart, and this one's layout is pretty similar while being completely different at the same time. You can have this music as being the same if you have it. There obviously has an unlockable style, but it's pretty similar here. As you can see, it's same layout pretty much. But then this section is identical, but the section after it is completely unique in Ring Racers. The visuals on this are also a lot better. The spikes are still there. But then now, in the kart version, you would go along the, you know, section in Gamma's section where you would go along the train tracks. But in the Ring Racers version, you actually go to the bit where Big the Cat goes in his stage in Sonic Adventure. Wow, completely different and unique layout in Ring Racers. I don't know which one I prefer, but maybe the Ring Racers version is better because I'm not being pulled around by the stupid conveyors all the time. 765 Stadium Zone, or Anime Stadium as I like to call it. Same name, but I think it's different music unless I'm not remembering correctly. I'll put on screen if it is the same or not. But yeah, this layout is identical to the SRB2 Kart version. It's just a lot more chaotic because of Ring Racers, and obviously, somehow, the Ring Racers is ahead of it, and normally we've had to pause the SRB2 Kart version because of the scaling of it, but this one actually looks slightly smaller than the SRB2 Kart version. It looks smaller, it looks wider in SRB2 Kart compared to Ring Racers. And there's also the trick panels there. Skyscraper Leap Zone. This one is basically the same as well. Not much in the changing of layouts. But the visuals are pretty much the same as well, but SRB2 Kart's version looks more at sunset, while the Ring Racers version looks like it's kind of midday. I think the music is identical here as well. Not much to say about this one, it's basically the same. No changes, except for the Ring Racer mechanics like this trick ramp, which obviously isn't a thing in SRB2 Kart. Yep, don't really have much to say. It's pretty much identical, except there's no springs there. I guess you could say that's a change, but yeah. Zone City Zone is also an identical track to the version in SRB2 Kart. I don't know if the music's different, but it's the same layout, basically same visuals. SRB2 Karts is a bit darker than Ring Racers though, that's I guess the only difference. Boost pads are in the same spot, item boxes are in the same spot. In fact, one thing I will say, Zone City looks a bit, you know, thinner in the Ring Racers version. Which is surprising, because normally they're scaled upwards, but this one's scaled down a little bit. Don't know why they decided that. It's a bit strange, to be honest. This shortcut is still there, but obviously you need a shoe to do it now. Or, you know, you need to be going fast or invincible. Umbrella Rushwinds Zone is also identical to the SRB2 Kart version. There's a lot of identicals this time. I think the music is also the same. Yeah, this one doesn't have many changes at all. The visuals are slightly changed, but it's only because like a darker blue kind of thing. The rain is more apparent in the Ring Racers version. Even the item boxes are in the same place. Yeah, there's not much changed in this one. It looks visually the same. I guess that Sonic billboard was removed, but a lot of things like that are removed that are just minor that you probably wouldn't even notice until you compare. Which I guess is why this video exists. And if you made it so far into the video, you may as well subscribe, because you clearly are happy about this, aren't you? And no, that was definitely not something to say while filling in the rest of the track, because I had nothing else to say. Anyway, Dimension Disaster Zone is also identical. Oh my god, wow. Can we get an original one next, please? Don't worry, there is some original ones coming up soon. There's obviously some of those barriers, I can't remember for the life of me what they're called. But yeah, obviously there's no springs here. And that's actually an added shortcut that we just went past there. Not in the kart version. Just taking that shortcut there on Ring Racers. But yeah, this bit's pretty much the same, just bouncing across the oil? Is it oil? It's black water, so I'm going to say it's oil. Aurora Atoll Zone. This one is such a downgrade, man. Look at the mini-map. What the hell happened here? The music is also a downgrade. I prefer the original. In the SRB2 Kart version, you don't get to the bridge section until now, but in the Ring Racers, it's immediately there. It's the first thing you do. So in Ring Racers, we're just going to have to pause until SRB2 Kart goes round a corner to eventually catch up to Ring Racers, which the beach section is a lot smaller and doesn't have the left path anymore. It does have a shortcut to the right though, which was in the kart version, but it's different. Now there's no bridge in the Ring Racers version, only a huge slope of boosts. This game likes that. But then in the Ring Racers version there's actually a waterfall that you go down, or river should I say. That is not in the kart version, it's completely different, you know. And yeah, the beach is just a lot bigger in Ring Racers. I don't like this version, I prefer the original. And the same goes for the Daytona Speedway music used here. The music is the same except it's a different remix. The layout is also identical, but the visuals are, oh, I would say a bit better in this version, I would say. Daytona. Anyway, yeah, the layout is the same on this one, iron box placement and all. I don't know what that slot machine there is for. You also can't go onto the off-road to the right here in Ring Racers, there's a fence there. But yeah, besides from these minor changes, it's pretty much the same as the SRB2 Kart version. It actually takes a little longer in Ring Racers. Aerial Highlands Zone is pretty much the same as well. I don't know why the minimap is so tiny on the kart version. I don't know if it's because I'm using these different aspect ratios to record for this video so that they could fit snugly side by side. Don't know if it's actually supposed to be that small, but anyway, the layout is pretty much the same, just with more curves, because Ring Racers likes its curves. Anyway, the drifting on the clouds here is really fucked because it like inverts your drift, so you end up drifting the wrong way, so avoid drifting off them. SRB2 Kart also has less detailed environments, like the clouds are just kind of a simple flat thing instead of being multiple sprites. And also Ring Racers has an extra big like curvy section here, while SRB2 Kart has an extra cloud to bounce on. Ring Racers also goes into the left and right sections here, while SRB2 Kart just goes forward. Music was also the same. Crispy Canyon is the same as well, except for the visuals. The middle bit is actually slightly different, which we'll get to, but other than that, still got cacti, the sprites this time, but yeah. Same cacti from Rusted Ruins, but this section is different because of the trick mechanic. That's the only difference, really. The springs are still here, except that's boost panels, and there was this added wall with springs there, and these springs are the same as well. This corner is the same with the same item box placement and boost. These corners are exactly the same as well. These bits are curved in the Ring Racers versions when they're not in SRB2 Kart, they were just angled. Technology Tundra used to be called Toxic Tundra in SRB2 Kart. This layout is pretty much the same. There's a few minor differences, but besides from that, it is completely identical. The music is different as well. This bit also had springs in the SRB2 Kart version, while Ring Racers doesn't. You also go a bit weird over the like mesh kind of road. Your controller vibrates and your screen and character vibrate as well. Well, that does not happen on SRB2 Kart. The curves are actually in this version on the kart version, which is kind of crazy. It's the only kart level that really did this. Obviously, there's a lot more, but the only one in this list really that I can think of that has the curves. There's also no springs here that you're about to see. It just kind of goes into the section while kart has the springs. You can also drift off the edge the same, except Ring Racers has a better drift in the air thing. There's a lot more curvier in the Ring Racers versions here. The springs have been removed in the Ring Racer version for just a boost panel. Pit is pretty much the same, but there's some added spikes there. There was actually an extra bit of like angle there, and also the instant boost ramps have gone. But besides from that, pretty much the same, just different name. Now this one was called Sonic Mania Special Stage 3? 4? I don't remember which number it was. But this one's called like the Wave something dimension, whatever. But this is basically the same as the Sonic Mania Special Stage from Kart. Same layout. Exactly the same layout, except this version has water, while the Ring Racers... Sorry, the SRB2 Kart version doesn't have water, it just has this boring ass section because it's quite literally just a port from Sonic Mania. This version is so much better than the Sonic Mania Kart version. Nightfall Dimension 2 was called this dimension, I can't remember the name of it. The music here is a downgrade, why did they do this? The layout of this one is also identical, no changes really. Just except for the specific Ring Racer improvements, enhancements, whatever you want to call it. Not much else to say. I will say that I can't believe Galatian didn't make it in, so I had to switch to Carol as my main character now. That actually ties into the story of Chaotic Kite 6 anyway. But yeah, not much changes, still got the spikes, still got the ramps, etc. Still got the balls, the blue balls. Next is Cloudtop Dimension, which I guess you can see the name here on screen. This one's also identical. A lot of these Dimension ones are just carbon copy, except for obviously that Sonic Mania one. Yeah, I don't really have much to say for the ones that are just identical. You can only go this way if you have a boost now. Yeah, it's just not much to say. There's a ring box there, I guess. That's interesting. It's actually slightly different, this section coming up. There's still the ramp that launches you up. In Kart, it actually says SRB2 Kart there, but there's no like ring or anything in Ring Racers. There's also an extra ramp there for some reason. And then this version just looks a lot shorter than Kart, I think, but maybe it's just the speed difference. That was the differences from that track. Did you like how little they were? I don't, because there's nothing to say about them. I failed there. Melty Mana Zone. I believe this is the same music. It's too bad we didn't get Molten Mana because that one's a better track than this one. This one's layout is also pretty much identical except for the middle part. You can still go around here, around the fountain, and take the shortcut. But then this bit here, you can still take the middle shortcut, but like you can't go in the middle anymore. It's only on the outside on the Ring Racer version. It always catches me off guard when the music stops. But then this section has you going in a marble zone. It reminds me of Marble Zone because of the purple. Obviously it's not. It's completely black in the SRB2 Kart version. But yeah, layout is pretty much identical except the middle. Lake Marguerite, is that how you say it? Marguerite? Marguerite? I don't know, I've never had to say it before. Anyway, this one's also pretty much identical except it combines Lake Marguerite 2, which is a modded track in SRB2 Kart. It combines the two in this version, which I think is pretty cool. This section here is different because you jump and go on this really steep slope. And the SRB2 Kart version also has more of a zigzaggy kind of wavy layout, while this one's just straight. And then here is where the Lake Marguerite 2 layout comes in. This isn't in the first version, it's only in the second version, which I think is pretty cool. Very, very cool. This section's pretty much the same except for the extra path. And there's a lot of like balloons in the Ring Racer version here for some reason. But yeah, very cool upgrade. Final Fall Zone is probably the worst remake because I don't like how curvy it is and how much you can fall off. The music is also worse than in the SRB2 Kart version. It's also a lot shorter than the SRB2 Kart version. I also prefer the way the visuals look in the SRB2 Kart version. Yeah, not really a fan of this one. I don't think the layout's bad, I just think you can get thrown around the place if you're not careful. And also I just think the layout is better on the original. Yeah, this is absolutely nothing like the original's layout. It's completely new and original. And one thing that actually SRB2 Kart has while Ring Racers doesn't have is this completely like palace indoor section. As you can see, the Ring Racers version is finished while we've still got this whole indoor palace section to go through in SRB2 Kart, which is just like, why did they change it so much? I loved this. So many memories with this track. I even did it as one of the first SPB attack videos I did on my main channel all the way back in 2021. Can you believe that? Anyway, the spring part is also there at the end, but Haunted Ship Zone. This one's music is the same, I believe. There's boosters at the start on Ring Racers. This layout is pretty much the same as well, to be honest. Only a few differences to make and count that Ring Racers likes those curves. There's no curves in this SRB2 Kart version, but there is where you jump with half pipes like in Mario Kart Wii. There's a lot of those in this level. The layout actually differs a bit around this corner. As you can see at this bit, you can either take a shortcut to the right, which is in the kart version, or you'll do a half pipe jump here, which the kart version just has a normal turn. This bit where you jump onto the water is different as well. This ending section is kind of the same, but it's just less ship-like, to be honest. I don't really know what the Sonic Rush Adventure version of this is, but not played the game. Robotnik Winter Zone, never mind. This is the worst remake in the whole game. Not for the actual track layout. I think the track layout is fine. I just hate the music. The original is so good. This is just such a downgrade. I don't hate it, don't get me wrong. I just don't like it as much. Why would you... Don't fix them if it ain't broke, you know? That saying is so good. Anyway, about the layout, it's completely different. The original is a 5-lap track, while this is a 3-lap track. So obviously this one's going to be longer. The kart version is also just a lot more compact, and I feel like it kind of matches the theme of Dr. Robotnik's Winter... Dr. Robotnik's Winter. Ugh. Dr. Robotnik Winter Zone, or Robotnik Winter Zone, what am I saying? Oh my god. But yeah, this one's not bad, it's just I would prefer the original. Abyss Garden is actually very, very similar to Ancient Tomb. It uses the same music and the layout is kind of similar. Well, you can see the similarities right here. It has pretty much the same turns at a lot of points, but the visuals look so different. The name is completely different. Just the fact that this isn't just an ancient tomb anymore is just crazy. As you can see, the layouts are differing a little bit here. When we go around the corner, it's kind of the same. As you can see on the, well, when we go around the corner, on the left here is the shortcut bit that you could take over the sand. Still here, it's just so different. This bit here is also pretty similar with the, you know, going around the corner bit. Wait for SRB2 Kart to catch up. This bit's similar but mirrored. As you can see, it's still got the sandy pits, but you just have to go around it the other way now. Different. Also, this version has just this slope. And next, we actually go outside. There's this ramp that takes us outside, while in the SRB2 Kart version, we kind of leave the inside of the tomb and go into, well, another bit of the tomb that's darker. And then when going back inside again, it's just completely different. This has a big straightaway in SRB2 Kart, but on here it's just curvy as hell. Lots of turns. Still outside in the in the Ring Racer version. Just waiting for it to catch up. Yeah, you see how different these are, like crazy. Still waiting. I still count this as Ancient Tomb, even though it's technically a new track. But I do see it as just an Ancient Tomb kind of remake. Because it's very similar in ways, especially the fact that they decided to use the same music. I would have probably not thought it was Ancient Tomb if they didn't use the same music. I would have probably never realised. There is still water sections, so once you look at this track side by side, you can see that it is extremely similar to the SRB2 Kart version. Just completely different at the same time. The ending bit is actually similar as well. You're going down a straightaway while trying to avoid things. As you can see, it's just the same concept. This track is basically the same but completely different at the same time. Wow, can't believe that. I still prefer Ancient Tomb. Now Blizzard Peak Zone, this also has a classic version, and guess what? The classic version is the same as the SRB2 Kart version. Let's go! We'll see that after this. Anyway, this Ring Racers version is actually completely unique. It is just a new track. Just use the Blizzard Peaks theme. Still wanted to show it in the comparison though, because it is technically the new version. The visuals here are, I would say, better. The original is charming, but this one's better. And also, the music is a remix of the original's music. And just in case any of you write a comment, yes, I'm aware that all of SRB2 Kart's music is stolen from other places, and most of Ring Racer's music also does the same. So, no, it's not like, oh, using the original. No, it's the original song that was used, but not created for the track. A lot of these for Ring Racers actually were created for the track. A lot of the earlier songs, like for example Robotnik Coaster in Ring Racers, that's an original song for SRB2 Kart. Fuck, I accidentally said SRB2 Kart. You can see I've already been talking for like 40 minutes or something. Anyway, there's a lot of Ring Racers songs that are original for Ring Racers, like Robotnik Coaster, and obviously all the special stages and stuff. A lot of the songs still come from elsewhere though, which I'm glad, because I discovered some music like the, you know, Withering Chateau theme. Anyway, original Blizzard Peaks. Exact same layout. You can see on the minimap it's identical. Also, I don't know if you can tell, but I've been talking for 45 minutes non-stop. My throat kills, but I'm not going to stop talking until the rest of this 20 minutes is up. My throat hurts so bad though. I'm going to have to drink a lot of water after this. Anyway, there was an added shortcut here that isn't in the original version, and also the icy bit before had better handling. I prefer the handling in the Ring Racers version. This section here around the corner is actually completely different. Instead of it just being, you know, like really boring flat, there's actually water here that you can speed across. I like that. Very good change. Chemical Facility Zone is actually pretty much the same as well, except not really. The layout's been altered, but only slightly. And also the minimap's position has been changed. As you can see, we're on the same section, but it's just like rotated differently. But yeah, it's still got the pressing down conveyors, it's still got the conveyors pushing you out and stuff, it's still got these springs pushing you up. Same layout basically. Still got this bit where you go around the corners. The visuals look different, obviously, most of them do. I think the music is a remix as well of what the original one had. But yeah, layout wise, this is pretty much the same actually. There's just a few differences like boost pads that were added in places and just mechanics from Ring Racers making it in. And also just the fact that the Ring Racers version is scaled up slightly, meaning that, you know, it takes a bit longer to go through. But that's fine. I like it when it's bigger because that means you won't get bumped as much. And being bonked and bumped in Ring Racers is awful. Actually, genuinely awful. Especially if you don't have rings. Anyway, that was it. The ending is very different actually. Coastal Temple Zone. This one has the same music, visuals look nicer, and the layout is identical. The lighting in this one is so much better. Like, oh my god, look at this. I can't believe how much better a lot of the Ring Racer tracks look, while it's literally just the same style of graphics, but they're just so much better with the colours in this. Very, very good to the visuals. SRB2 Kart didn't look bad. It's just this is just such a huge upgrade with the visuals. This bit's the same with the doors. This bit also has, I think it's a wider jump there. There's a lot of leaves in the little cavern tunnel bit. And also this corner has a lot of rings on it, obviously. And the water is just so much more noticeable. Crimson Core is so much different. This one's scaling is huge. It's so huge. Look at it. I have to constantly pause the SRB2 Kart version because of just how fucking huge it is. The music here is also the same, but you can unlock alternate versions. Like for 99% of the tracks in this game, you can get alternate versions. But yeah, the layout is pretty much the same. It's just huge in the Ring Racer version. SRB2 Karts is just miniature compared to this. Still got the same layout and jumps. It's just huge in Ring Racers. Like, I can't believe it. There's also an added shortcut here. Don't really know why I took it because you can't do that in SRB2 Kart. Not really that good for the comparison. This section here is also a lot wider, obviously. And also like an added corner was added there, I think. Oh no, it wasn't. It was just a bit behind. I can't believe how much bigger this is. Jeez. Yeah, it's just shorter as well, like, jeez. Sky Babylon. Exact same layout. You start differently like here, but the layout is identical to the SRB2 Kart version. It doesn't really look too much different either. It is pretty much the same thing. Can't believe how similar it is. The music is also identical. There's a shortcut there that's not in the SRB2 Kart version, but the springs there that aren't in the Ring Racers version. And same here. Yeah, there's not really much to say. It's just pretty much the same, with a few minor shortcuts added. I mean, the signs are different. That's a kart crew in the original, but it doesn't say it in the Ring Racers version. Kodachrome Void. Oh my god, the visuals are so much better. I felt like it was Epilepsy the Zone. That was a meme in SRB2 Kart that everyone had. Like, this was Epilepsy the Zone. In fact, they changed it. It looked different in the original versions and stuff, I believe. But this version is just completely nicer. Nicer on the eyes, a bit wider as well. I just don't really like the getting stuck on corners, you know? It's just really annoying. Item box placement is also different. Music is identical. I'm surprised this came back, but Mega Block Castle didn't. Excuse me? So, I'm just going to go a bit out of order right now because there's some tracks that I didn't realise were remakes. For example, here is Done at Plains 1 is actually pretty similar in layout to Mega Bridge Zone. Obviously, it's not exact. You can see on the minimap there's a whole turn that's missing. But, I mean, there's bridges, which Done at Plains has. As you saw at the very beginning, there was actually a bridge that lined up perfectly. It's not exact, but it's close enough that I'm actually going to just count it as it. And another one is Super Mario Kart Ghost Valley 2 is actually very similar to Mega Sandopolis Zone. This one, again, doesn't have the same layout, but there's very similar aspects and turns that happen at the same time, basically. And when, as you can see, we have to pause kart because, again, it's not lined up. There's an extra corner on the Mega Sandopolis one. But it's pretty similar, not much to say. Not exact, obviously it's new course. Now, Thunder Piston Zone. I didn't realise this was from SRB2 Kart because I've never seen it in SRB2 Kart before. It was only until I discussed with some people on Discord where I discovered that this was actually originally from SRB2 Kart. I'd never seen it before, so I thought it was a new track. But comparing the two, oh my god, it had one of the biggest glow-ups of any track. Compared to the original, it looks like, well, a really shit version. The Ring Racers version has been scaled up tremendously, so much better. But when you see, it's actually the same layout, which you wouldn't expect from a course that looks like that in SRB2 Kart. It kind of reminds me of that, like, those extra, one of the extra levels you can get in vanilla SRB2. But besides from that, yeah, the layout is actually identical. It's just obviously scaled a lot upwards to fit the more Ring Racer vibe. But like the spring section here and other sections line up perfectly. Going around the corner, yeah, there's no springs here, but there's the pillars that you go through. And then when you go around here, there's the springs there, but that's kind of, I would say that's kind of this, but it also isn't at the same time. I don't know, it's a bit different. But then these springs here line up perfectly, as you can see, going up. And then going around this last corner will bring you to the finish line. The layouts are pretty similar, but I'm surprised. Avant Garden Zone, I can't remember what it was called in karts, but you can see the name on screen. This one is basically a new track with the same theme. Like, it's completely different. It still has these purplish buildings with the grass and clouds, but the layout is just not the same. I don't even know if it's supposed to be the same track or not. It just looks so similar and has a similar name that I feel like I'm counting it as the same. The layout is just not the same at all though. I don't know which one I prefer. Let me know in the comments if you've been preparing the SRB2 Kart or the Ring Racer versions of these tracks so far. And also tell me in the comments which versions... Let me start again. And also in the comments, just let me know what tracks you wish were in Ring Racers. Like, for example, I wish Mega Block Castle was in there. There's a few others like Canyon Rush that I wish was in there too, but there's many others that I've not listed that I really wish was in Ring Racers. I miss Canyon Rush and Mega Block Castle. Why weren't they included? But Kodachrome Void was? Ugh. Anyway, this one's over and it's a lot longer on Ring Racers. SRB2 Frozen Night, same music, same layout, pretty much same visuals, just shinier. This one actually has the Jack Frost secret in it that SRB2 Kart doesn't have. So that's neat, I guess. Besides from that, it's the same. Except the water is more off-roady now. I think it's scaled up slightly as well. But yeah, same cave, same everything. It's the same. Barren Badlands. This one is the most similar of all the tracks in this video to the original. Oh my god, this one doesn't look like it's even been touched. The textures are slightly lighter, but besides from that, everything is the same. The iron box placement is slightly different. But like, dude, it's the same thing. It's literally has no changes to it. Except for like the you know, barriers that stop you from going on a shortcut without a boost or invincibility. Boost panel placement and enemy placement is the same. But, like, this one is the most untouched track of all of them. I cannot believe how similar it is. They didn't touch it. But then again, if it ain't broken, don't fix it. I love this track. Shuffle Square Zone. This one is also identical. There's, like, not many changes, besides from, like, the visuals and the fact that Ring Racer springs work differently. And I mean, like, trick springs. There's still that ramp there, but it doesn't give you a boost anymore. Yeah, literally the same. There's a spring in the SRB2 Kart version that's not in Ring Racers, and then there's still both a trick ramp thing there, I guess. Yeah, same track. Blue Mountain Classic. This one is also not identical. Ha, you thought I was going to say identical. Yeah, the layout is pretty much the same, but this one is scaled hugely. This one is so much better. I felt so cramped on the original version that I actually can't believe how small it is. It's so much better here. The cave bit here is also different. It's a lot wider again, like the rest of the track. And also the section here is a lot better. You can fall off so easily in the kart version, but in here there's a little shortcut bit and it's just so wide that you would never struggle with it. And then the ending bit is the same with the same off-road bit. This track is just okay. It's so much better in Ring Racers though. Now on to Battle. I forgot the name of this one, but you can see it here. This one's exactly the same, except the visuals look so much better. Wow. Ring Racer's single player battle mode is the prison stages. SRB2 Kart doesn't have the single player mode, so you can see it's just very empty, but the prisons aren't there as part of the track. It's just for the prison specific missions. Besides from that though, the minimap is huge, but the layout is the same. A lot of these battle ones are actually identical. Special Stage Special Stage 1. This is also identical, but the Ring Racer mechanics make it slightly different. The UFOs in the kart version are only for show. You can actually kill them in the Ring Racers version with the, you know, ball things. I tried to line up the like driving of these battle tracks, but then didn't really work too much. Don't really have much to say, it's the same. Now onto this one. I didn't put the name of them at the beginning of this because it was lining up better. I don't remember them, but you can see them on screen, the name. I think most of these are exactly the same name, though I don't think there's any battles that are actually differently named. This one visually looks so much different. It looks like a toy castle kind of thing in kart, while it just looks more natural like a building in Ring Racers. The visuals in Ring Racers on this one are so much better. SRB2 Kart looks like a children's simple made for kids cartoon, while this Ring Racers version looks like an actual location with floating gears. Yes, again the water looks so much better in this version. Yeah, so much of an upgrade while having the same layout. This track here has the exact same layout, except now the dips are the same. I thought there were more dips, but never mind, they are the exact same. As you can see, Ring Race actually travels a lot faster than SRB2 Kart, so I'm having to make a lot of cuts to actually keep them up with each other. But yeah, this one's actually just identical besides from the visuals, and the music is different as well. The music was different on the last one too. I'll put on the screen for all of them if the music is the same, by the way. So if I forget to mention it, you'll be able to see it on the screen. Rusty Rig though is different music, same layout, visuals are pretty much the same, except the night sky is orange instead of blue. I prefer this music actually. The conveyors are actually a lot tougher on Ring Racers. You have to actually charge up, while SRB2 Kart kind of lets you drive up a lot better. But yeah, this one's layout is pretty much the same. No differences except for just the visuals and mechanics. Now this one's called Fakery Way in the kart version, and that's because it was a remake of Amy's section, kind of, from Sonic Adventure. Now this one's the same layout as you can see by the mini map, but it's just completely visually different. Music is different as well, and the name is different. This actually does have a different name, I completely forgot. But yeah, on the darkness in here, oh my god, look at how much better the lighting is in Ring Racers. Like, it's just crazy how much better it is. Ring Racers is such an upgrade to at least the visuals of Kart. A lot of people didn't think they looked natural, but after getting used to it, I do think they look better, for the most part. DeathEgg's eye is actually exactly the same, except the spring parts are different, and the like barriers are there. But yeah, besides from that, this one's pretty much the same. The scaling is a lot like bigger, but yeah, the layout is identical. Not much else to say. But next we move on to Tails Lab. This one is also the same, except there's these random barriers on the conveyor belt. Don't know why. This one also doesn't have a ceiling anymore for some reason. But yeah, still pretty much Tails Lab. It's still got those orange things that lift you up. Don't know what these barriers are supposed to be doing though. I guess it's if you get stuck. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, pretty much the same, just visually different. Power plant is honestly identical. Don't know any differences on this one. The visuals are pretty much similar as well. This was just, I would say it's scaled a bit, but only like the most slight. Also, look at that mini-map. Why is it so tiny on SRB2 Kart? I feel like it's because of the aspect ratio. But yeah, layout is pretty much the same. If we go inside, you can see it is the exact same. Music is the same as well. Can't believe how similar. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm hoping it moves on soon. I have nothing to say. Oh, the building's not solid here while it is in Kart. City Skyline Zone. This one's visually different as well. A lot of pink and purple in this one. Look at this little triangle roof. There's a lot darker in Ring Racers. The music is the same. I love this song. It's so good. The pool has been replaced with a little grassy garden. Why? What? This one's also scaled a lot like bigger. Like, you can see that SRB2 Kart just drives really quickly away from Ring Racers. So again, I'm gonna have to cut Ring Racers to get to where Kart is in a second, I think. Oh no, I must have already done it. Oh no, I cut SRB2 Kart. I forgot what I did. SRB2 Kart also has this weird triangle here that you can get on, but that was fixed in the Ring Racers version. As you can see, it's gone. Metropolis Zone actually doesn't really have a version in SRB2 Kart, but I want to discuss. In Patafoin's server, I couldn't find this in any other server. I tried to look for it, but in Patafoin's server, that's why the footage you've seen there is low quality, and also from my Pikzelow Sweet channel, or named Shadow SMM Stash, and it was actually, I couldn't find it, and Patafoin's server isn't available anymore, and I don't have the add-ons. It's a completely different stage. But yeah, I can't believe how much different it is, and yeah, it's just crazy. Marble Zone. This zone is actually identical, except the name is like Mega Marble Zone now or something. The layout is the same, but the springs aren't here on this bit where you jump across the lava. As you can see, in SRB2 Kart there's springs, in Ring Racers there's just these ramps. The lava is also solid, like one solid thing in SRB2 Kart, but in Ring Racers it's 3 separate pillars. Don't know why they made that decision, but I think it actually looks kind of cool. The bridges in the center are also the same. Music is the same, I think. Yeah. I don't know why I kept going around this one so many times. It's 4 squares that are all identical. But anyway, here's me dying. SRB2 Summer. Meadow Match, there we go, it says now music on the right. This one is also identical, except you can actually get up to the top section, which you'll see in a second in SRB2 Kart. This one is the same ramp, same pool, same everything. It's not scaled either, it is the same. But yeah, the kart section you just saw, you couldn't actually get up to the top. I've tried many times, but you just can't without a pogo spring, and I was unlucky and didn't get a pogo spring. You can see right now, when we go up to it, the bridge is the same, the spring is the same, but what? Ring Racers has that to lift you up, while SRB2 Kart has nothing, so you just can't get up. You could get up there, but I didn't bounce because the controls are fucked on those. Armored Armadillo, this one is also identical, there is no difference in this one. The textures is the only thing that's different, the layout is the same, the scaling is a little bigger, but besides from that, it is exactly the same. Identical. Yep, not much else to say. The outside bit, the waterfall, you see on SRB2 Kart's screen, the waterfall's there. It's also there in Ring Racers, you'll see in a second when I drive around. But yeah, they didn't leave out any details, that is also there. Nothing else to say. I guess I could say that the timer is counting up in Ring Racers while the timer is counting down in SRB2 Kart, but that's just because of the way that like the free-for-all prisons work in this game compared to doing it in the Grand Prix. Anyway, Clucky Farm Zone is also identical to the SRB2 Kart version. Music and all, visuals is pretty much the same as well. Nothing really to say, it's identical. I will say the minimap is actually the same size this time instead of being smaller. No idea why it wasn't the same size for other tracks, but whatever. This center bit up here doesn't have... oh, it does have a ring box. Sorry, an item box. But yeah, it's just the same. No differences. Absolutely none. It's not really scaled either, it's just the same. And this is just a classic kart bottle map though. And I say bottle because in Patafoin's server that was a meme that everyone said for battle. Anyway, whatever this one's called, this is the final battle track in Ring Racers. Wow. There wasn't actually as many battle tracks that came across as you might have think. There was hardly any compared to, you know, how many race tracks came across. I kind of messed up going at the same time as SRB2 Kart here in Ring Racers, but you can see it's the same layout on the minimap. There's no difference here. Music is also identical. It's a little darker on the Ring Racer version, but besides from that, it is just the same. Well, that's the end of the comparison. All the tracks in SRB2 Kart and Ring Racers that are the same. All the ones from SRB2 Kart that got ported over to Ring Racers, or at least the ones that I could find. If I missed any out of any modded tracks out, then leave a comment, tell me which ones I missed out, and I might make a short in the future showing your comment off and also showing off the tracks that I missed. I only really looked at Sunflower's Gardens tracks, so there could definitely be tracks that I've never played before that came from Kart and went into Ring Racers, but I highly doubt it because a lot of them that came to Ring Racers were in Sunflower's Garden anyway. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, give the channel a subscribe, and thank you for staying here for an hour and nearly 10 minutes. Jesus Christ, my throat is killing. I am going now and going to drink some water, so bye.